a package of 500 fixer-upper homes yesterday. And I told my director, I was like, hey, we have this. He's like, well, we'll take my kidney as a down payment.
Amna Rashid. Hi.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
You're on. Okay, great. So, as I was saying, for those of you who are just logging in, so Amna is being streamed to YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook right now. Okay. All right, and this is live. So, what I like to do initially, before we get right into the content, is to ask just a few questions. Some of them, I think, will help people get a better understanding. Just one second. And what it does is it also allows us the opportunity for people to get to know you. So, if you're this way, the algorithm also pushes the video to the top. So, number one, what are 1 to 3 books that you have given out as gifts, or 1 to 3 books that have changed your life?
1 to 3 weeks. I don't give people books out. I actually, the people I do know, I give them my, Amazon Read, or, just access to that. I trust them so they can go and see what books I'm reading.
Okay.
I think different books, they do different things for you, right? So I can't top 3. Oh, this the book did this. There are certain books I really like, and one is Unfuck Yourself. I think it is mandatory for anyone I love that book. And I think that why it is so important is that, to me personally, we all come from different damages, and we all have self-sabotaging behavior. And if you're ambitious enough, your first struggle will be against yourself. That's the only hindrance in your growth. And be it in your career, be it in your relationships, or anywhere. So I think that book is a very good start to basically focus on that. And I think it is more important than any other book that you'll read in that respect. Yeah. I actually go back to different chapters of it in different times and in different, it's a good self-check for me. I love that book. And then there's it's called The Little Red Book of Sales, I think. I have to recheck. It's what I really like about that. And so I'm an investor myself, and I think that wholesaling becomes very easy for me.
Little Red Book of Sales.
Simply because I am, I'll actually send you the links of the books. I might be butchering the names right now. So what I really like is that to know what investor is looking for. So a lot of times wholesalers fail, and that's my experience. And it is because you just want to slap a sale, get out of it. You don't want to understand, or you don't understand because you have never invested money and you don't know what a flip takes. You don't know the anxiety of so much money going out of pocket, and at the risk that you are so focused in making a sale that you're not empathetic. And that book gives you a very good idea from an investor's perspective. If I do recommend every wholesaler to, in the first 2 years, do a flip, one flip, a small flip, large flip, it will change your game. And it is because I was taught you teach what you do. So I would never do something.
We lost our video. But
do you have me now?
No, that's okay. I mean, we can continue. Okay. The content you're sharing is more valuable than anything else. But go ahead, continue your thought. I just wanted to share that we lost you on camera, but that the wholesaler should at least do one flip themselves.
Yes, absolutely. It will make you understand that what numbers and fears and and listen to the people that you work with. I think no book teaches you what listening to people do. One of the con men, and early on in my career, gave me the best advice that I followed to the T to this day. And he was an absolute con man, a homeless guy. He was trying to get, flip this contract, and he told me something that he was like, I was trying to make him understand some things, and he would not. But he told me something very valuable, and I actually sent him $1,000 thank you card later on, a couple of years later. And he said that your job is not, you know what you're trying to do? You're trying so hard to sell a deal. Your job is not to sell. Your job is to just address other person's concern. And you're not doing that. You're such a salesy in your head that you're forgetting that you're dealing with human beings. And I think that in itself,
So a con man changed your approach to to how you run your wholesaling sales business. Okay. So everybody who is participating now, this gives me an opportunity to do a more formal introduction. So Amna is a licensed real estate broker.
there you go.
Good. Much better, right?
Yes. It's like, because my Wi-Fi is down here, I live out in the boonies, so.
So is there a way to expand this frame? That's not bad. Versus actual recording is higher quality. There, okay. This is a little better. If you want, you can actually log out of the computer. That way we don't have, you're looking at a third image of yourself, which is fine.
Am I? Okay.
It's okay.
I
All
did
right,
log out. It didn't log me out? I don't know.
It's okay. Maybe I can find a way to do this. Hold on. If not, then we're just going to deal with it.
Okay,
Not
we'll deal with it.
Okay. All right, cool. So what I was telling people was, when I originally approached you about this, you were telling me, like, I usually don't do this, and I don't seek any type of publicity anyway, and then we stayed on the phone, and it took a little bit of convincing on my part, and then before you knew it, we're like, all right, let's do it. So when she says no billboard, I believe her. I do believe her. All right. Let's see. What are the quotes that you live your life by?
Do to others what you want to be done to you.
It's a great quote. Okay. What is an unusual habit that most people would be surprised that you have, that you do on a daily basis?
I'm a huge nerd. I'm an anime manga nerd, and I play video games.
Cool. All right. In the last 5 years, what new belief or habit has improved your business the most?
It's every day. I have a habit. Not now. It's a habit. Actually, it's a part of my life. That every day I search for some meaning in my life, and it's every day. It's so I disconnect at the end of the day, and every day I'm like, what meaning of life did I find today? And it doesn't necessarily have to be attached to my career. It's for me, it is important to know. You have to attach. At least that's what I'm finding out, because when you start making money and when you start things becoming easier relatively, you feel lost, and there is no amount of things that you can buy that will fill that void and that emptiness. If you're not attached to a purpose, if you don't find meaning, either you'll go broke or you'll go depressed. So your choice. So I try to find meaning in every day. There's a purpose behind every day. I make sure that there is one person I'm going to help out. I don't care in which vicinity, without any expectations and without taking anything in return. It could be just a homeless person standing on the road, or I don't care.
Sure.
It could be just helping an elderly in a parking. I don't care. Just one person. Deed doesn't matter, the size of it, but one act does matter, and it goes every night before I go to sleep. It goes on my, it goes on my list, a checklist.
Yeah, I believe it. And you were that way before it started getting easy, and before the business, just having success in the business just made you more of what you already were.
So
right?
Someone told me a long time ago, actually when I started to break a million mark in my business, in my, um, there was a time I was out of control because I'm good at what I do. I'm very skilled. I'm very smart. I know that. I just started to lose it, and I think I went through a time period where I thought I was the shit. Someone told me, and oh my gosh, I've never been more ashamed in my life, and that my parents have a huge influence in how I am. You want to get grounded, meet my family. But he told me, it's like, I was like, I think I went to buy cars, and I was like, I could buy this car, and my dad told me that he was like, money, when you get money, it doesn't make you a different person. It just makes you more of what you already are. So you're just becoming more of what you already were. And I think that I had to look hard. What the heck am I doing? I think that was a, changing moment. I don't want to be that person. And I want to be one that, still is, I don't know, who values people. It matters.
Yeah. So did you get the Houston Orange Lamborghini or not?
No, the thing is that I get so many speeding tickets to begin with, that I know. And then I have, like I said, my life is attached to a very big purpose, and I'm actually saving money for that project. So I'm very excited. Hopefully next 2 years I can launch that project.
Perfect.
But it will require a lot of capital, and I don't want to go into asking people, and so it will take every penny I can save, kind of a situation. So, but
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. What advice would you give to someone who is just trying to get into wholesaling? So they're just trying to get into the business, and we're talking the whole gambit. So it could be a college student, or it could be somebody who may be leaving corporate America. Like, they want to get into wholesaling. What advice do you have for a brand new person?
The advice that was given to me: don't look at what anyone else is doing. Do your job. Do it every day. Do it consistently. Results will follow.
Which is what you told me on our first phone call.
Yeah.
Because she was sharing with me some of her numbers, and I told her, man, okay, I guess I'm doing something wrong, or I have to improve my numbers, or I got to improve something so that I can get to where you're at. And that was the exact advice that she gave me on our first phone call, which is great. It's fantastic because it just makes everything about you even more genuine. All right. In the last 5 years, what have you had to become better at saying no to? Because we can say yes to a lot of things, but what have you become better at saying no to?
I think I have learned to say no kindly. I think that is one of the biggest things, and I have achieved. And I always had issues with drawing boundaries. I'm a people's pleaser most of the time, but I think that to understand that boundaries actually protect relationships rather than destroy them, and how you say them. So just to very kindly and very nicely saying no. I don't like when people lead other people on. Like, okay, let's a simple example. Let's meet up. Yeah, maybe we can do that. I mean, I know, we all know that maybe is a no. I don't like that. I'm a very straightforward person. And so I would never give anyone the false hope. So I would be like, no, I would love to do that, but right now I don't have time. When I do, I'll hit you up. So I think that learning to be more genuine and kind, I think, is the biggest thing. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so 12:22. I think I gave the algorithm enough time to start getting us the viewers. One last viewer check. If you guys are watching this on any of the platforms right now, this is being streamed on Facebook Live, on YouTube and LinkedIn. So if you could be so kind as to give us a thumbs up or post a comment on there, that would be fantastic. I'm trying to keep up with any comments that I see, but that also helps us with getting the video to the top of the queue. All right, so let's just talk about wholesaling now. So, can I share some of the numbers you were sharing with me? Is that okay? Okay, so Amna is going to push probably, I don't know, this year, if you keep going at the rate you're going, you're going to be at 500, 600 mark?
Oh, no, that's a big one. It depends, right? So, I think that I wouldn't put 200 out of the, mark. That is 250 around there.
250.
250, because there's a reason for it, right? So package deals are coming back in. Like I got a package of 500 fixer-upper homes yesterday. And I told my director, I was like, hey, we have this. He's like, well, we'll take my kidney as a down payment.
Wow.
But so then I have a package of 100 homes, and then I have so it could very well end up there. But at this point, I do evaluate things that how much work I want to take. I've been working like a dog for past 4 years of my life, and I haven't had any breaks. I haven't switched off work for a single second. So I just would like to make the most money with with things that I can get done. So yeah, somewhere there, hopefully.
Got it. Okay, so now you're talking like really high level stuff, though. You talked about a director, and then you talked about a bulk portfolio sale, right? Now, are these corporate institutions that are selling the bulk packages, or is this in private individuals?
Individuals. It all becomes who you know at the end of the day, and what your reputation is. It all becomes about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm brand new. I don't have any reputation, and I don't know anybody. So what the hell do I do? Work
your ass off till people know you.
Okay. So what? Help me understand. I mean, you and I know, I know some of the answers to this question, but there's people that are thinking these things. So, I can work. I work hard. I work really, really hard.
I'll tell you. So I have a business coach, and I've had a business coach for years now. You have 7 to 15 seconds to make an impression on everybody or anybody. So how to utilize those, generally you'll see when you first meet me, in the first 15 seconds, I'll cover who I am. And then the more you deal with me, I back up that reputation, right?
Sure.
If you do a deal, like I'm closing on it. I'm not losing your relationship. I'm not losing my reputation. Even sometimes I have to personally buy the deals that I don't want to fucking buy, but I'll buy it and I'll close on it because you know that I close deals and I'm good for my word. And so initially, let's say an 18-year-old or 19-year-old is starting in this business, the first thing I would do is that start reading and start knowing and start learning what exactly wholesale is, what kind of deals there are, and how to work those deals. And take your time in learning. Once you have learned the business, and then in the meantime, work on how you speak. I cuss a lot, by the way. I'm trying to refrain from cussing.
No, cuss. It's okay.
I mean, day starts with fuck you and fuck off. Like it ends at that. And so, but having, I was actually dealing with this syndicate, some time ago. And these are like, suited, wooded syndicate, and they're pretty large syndicate, actually. I was talking to their president, and I was just like, he said something. I said, fuck it. I don't think you and I can work together. So I hung up on him almost because I was very annoyed by what he was saying. But so I have no, but I think that I'm very genuine. And I think that one of the things in my book, so what people don't know, I have a slight stutter and I struggle with that. And I have severe social anxieties. So, but I've worked to the point where you think that, I have no problems. I'm probably the most confident person on the block. But you just have to overcome, and everybody has different issues.
Sure.
And so some people are dyslexia. My daughter has severe dyslexia and she's a straight A student. But we have worked around it. There's always, if you want to make it work, you'll make it work. So I would say, get to know, work on your speech, work on how to communicate, and use less filler words, be direct. That is one thing. Like if someone takes too long to get to their point, I generally hang up. I don't have the fucking time. So, but you need to be direct, and then you need to invest into learning about the speech pattern, that some words are much more effective than the others. And that takes practice, and it's like daily practice, like dedicate like 10 minutes to it or 30 minutes to it, depending on how quickly you want to excel in something. And after, because some people come from a very less fortunate backgrounds,
Sure.
A lot of kids that are very ambitious come from, lower class, and they don't have the polish that society is looking for, right?
Right.
Present yourself well, speak well, and I mean, I generally am so badly dressed that I'm in my sweats and I'm in my and I look like a hobo, but I know that it is okay because when I'll talk, people will still listen, right?
Sure.
So be confident on who you as a person, and make sure know that you have the value. You have something that investors want, and you have the value, and then go from there. Don't be cocky about it, but knowing your value is very important, and never ever sacrifice on that. But don't get egotistical and are too proud, and that bites back. But like, know the value of what you're doing, and then I would get on the calls. And the only way you can work on your speech, record yourself talking. I had a huge transaction 6-7 months ago. My company where I started my wholesale journey from, who taught me everything, we parted ways, and it was very painful. And the way I deal with trauma is I quite literally start working more. So,
yeah, I'm the same way.
At least you're depressed and making money. So between July and September, and I clocked in 11,000 calls to realtors.
Wow.
And because I just sat on the calls, and it generated business to another level for me. Record. I mean, I think it should be mandatory initially for first 2 years. You have to record all your calls. And you have to listen to yourself, how you're interacting with people, where you went short, where you went overboard, where because that is the 2 years. Your first 2 years of hard work will quite literally tell you where you're going to end up at.
So for your first 2 years, you were calling up agents as a wholesaler.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a realtor too, so I'm licensed.
Right. Okay. Were you licensed before you became the wholesaler, or no?
Well, I started wholesaling because the company I work with, they required you to be a realtor, but it's a wholesale brokerage. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so you would call up agents, and were you calling up agents for networking purposes, or were you calling them up to see what kind of opportunities they have?
So the goal always is to build a relationship, right? So out of like 10,000 calls, you'll get one realtor who will understand what you're doing and send you business repeatedly, right? Then it is your performance and how professional you are that will build that relationship. But the goal always is you don't need. So a lot of people think when they see my numbers and they see the fees I'm selling these things to, people think I have a lot of I have room full of investors and realtors that I go and pick one to work with. I'd have very limited contacts actually for the amount of work I do. I have I have around 65 good investors repeat, and I have around 40 realtors or brokers I work with, and that's more than enough.
So right now you got about 65 VIP buyers that really, those are the ones that you find opportunities for, and then you've got about 40 agents that are feeding you off-market opportunities that you can then take to the investors, right? And then these realtors are then, I was trying to switch the headset, but it's not working, so whatever. So then these realtors, they bring you the opportunities, and you're locking them up as your entity, right? And then we're reselling them to the investors. Are we doing a double close, or we're just doing a sign?
We do double close.
You do a double close.
So the thing is that a double close does two things for you, and I think it's an absolute best way to do it. I mean, if I would have it on my way, I would always close it first, and then a week worth of gap, and then there's reasons why I feel like that I should do that way. But because generally but double close is the second closest thing that comes with it.
Sure.
And so I think double close is absolutely helps you. It will put enough pressure on you that, my God, I have money on the line, I have reputation, I gotta close.
Sure.
So and then it's really helpful in reputation.
Got it. Okay, so you do a double close and then you resell it. When you're reselling it, you're passing on the closing costs to the new investor, or are you paying those closing costs?
No, not all of them. Sometimes I take all the cost, and that's part of the negotiation.
Sure.
And so sometimes I'll take it, sometimes I won't. It all depends.
Okay. So for the people that are listening, that's huge. That's huge. She's sharing with you the volume. I mean, 65 VIP buyers, 40 agents that are bringing you these opportunities. What was the conversation like when you're doing the agent outreach? Because I know that there's a lot of gurus that are teaching people to go out there and talk to agents, right? But the thing is, when you're calling these agents and you're just buying these lists of agents, because I'm a broker like as well, just like you. And so when you're calling these agents, a lot of times you're calling these agents who really may not even be in the business anymore. You're just buying these lists of agents. So who do you call? Which agents should you target? How do you know? Go ahead.
So what I used to do is that, or I still do actually, if I'm looking to build new contacts. Now, by the grace of God, most of the people know me. I get so many leads every day without even picking up a phone. I'm getting lazy about that. But what I've always done is that so every market is different. I don't know California.
Yeah.
I know California market is different because I have a lot of investors that come from California market.
Right.
So we have HAR here, right? The HAR, I'm a member of it. And so I pull the listings in. So I go subdivision by subdivision in my area. So This week I'm going to pull all the listings sold, active, pending. I'm going to call these people today. Then I'm going to switch to the next area. I have a map, and that I cross, and I move around the city and see where I want to hit at. So you make the calls. There are not too many, thumbs up you get, or, there are not too many leads you will get, but you will see that because let me say, for example, you came to Houston and you're a brand new person hitting it, right?
Right.
The agents you're probably calling in my area, they already know me. Unless I turn a deal down, I was actually putting some numbers together. There are a few wholesale brokerages, very successful, pretty big names in my and some really good individual wholesalers too. I was actually doing a map of most of the all the deals they did and all the deals I'm doing. Most of the, I think 50 some percent, it was, I have to look up, but it's about 53% of the deals first came to me before they went. I said no, and then they went somewhere else. My goal is to increase that to 65% by the end of the year. So
how do you do that, and what's that conversation like? What are you telling?
Very simple. And so they don't understand. You have to understand. People are not going to. So you cannot talk to a homeless guy. So I have a master's. in econometrics, data analysis, and time series. Right. So funny thing is, I can't talk to an average person in the numbers and in time series manner. Right. I have to dumb it down to what they understand. Right. A lot of people think mathematics when I say that I have math major and all that, and they're like, oh my gosh, then tell me how is 1,000 multiplied. I mean, just stop. That's not what I have. I have a degree in analysis. But so their understanding is limited. So you have to understand that the other person doesn't know anything. And how do you talk to a person or a child who doesn't know anything? You have to simplify it, right? So I have different pitches for different people. And generally it's pretty straightforward. Hey, I saw this house you sold. Congratulations. I'm looking to buy some houses. I work with an investor, or, I'm personally buying. Would you be interested? Do you have any off-market leads? Just simple. We prefer off-market because it helps with the investment. It's easier to resell and fix. And do you have anything like that? Please let me know before you list it. And a lot of times, like when I work with people, if they're listed and I came to know about it later on, I'll tell them to take the listing off, and they do. So, Wow.
You'll tell the agent to take the listing off the market.
Yeah. I mean, when you build relationships, this is what the relationship is, right? And you want to make sure that you are trustworthy enough that, you're not necessarily going to like me. I'm very difficult to work with. When it comes down to work, I get down to work. I'm not a very nice person, I think, but I'm a very truthful and a very honest person. And I think that I've had some really big scuffles throughout the years, and I rub people the wrong way all the time. I don't care, but I know that most of those people have always come back to me whenever they needed something, because they
know you perform.
They know I will perform, and they know that I will be honest and I will be genuine. And so I think that to me that matters a lot.
So for a brand new person, their options are, let's say they're going to go the agent route and they're not going to step into...
I would not recommend them going directly agent route. What they need to do is that they need to skip trace the homeowners' addresses and start calling them. That way they are a little bit polished before they get to the realtors, because you don't want to fuck up that relationship.
Got it. Okay, so brand new, they should be getting lists and they should be calling. What kind of lists should they be calling?
Homeowners,
Yeah, but I mean, we can pull, you pull a farm of 20,000 homeowners, you don't know which ones you're going to get. Which are the ones that you would say these are the highest?
Foreclosures list work. Actually, for me, foreclosures list have worked really well. Tax lien work. You get to the county, you can get that. If you go to fire departments, you can pull lists out of there. Fire damage home. So those lists, just start from somewhere. But I think the realtors should be at least after you have made 2,000 to 3,000 homeowner calls. Then I think you're at a starting point where you can hit. So 2,000 to 3,000 calls are not much. I can make up to 5,000 calls a month, and that is while doing what I do. So if I can do that, you can do that too. You have, I'm very obsessive compulsive about things. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. So you can't party all weekend long and expect you to produce the numbers I do. I have no life. This is what I do. And I'm okay with it, because I think early on I decided if I'm going to reach my goals, I have to sacrifice. And I don't care what I have to sacrifice if nothing comes between. Either you grow with me or I'm going to grow without you. There is nothing that hinders my goal.
Wow. Okay. All right. So new agent, new person who wants to get into wholesaling, 2,000 to 3,000 calls to homeowners. Right now, the most success that you're having, or that you think they would have, would be with calling foreclosure lists and with tax liens lists. Those are probably going to be the best ones.
Definitely.
Okay? I can go over it, but I'd rather hear from you. What kind of script would you use when you're contacting these people?
So you have to understand. So I'll tell you. So I still bomb calls. Like I bombed a call so bad the other day, and so I was calling this. Someone sent me a lead that this guy, his home is going into foreclosure. I'm like, can you call? So I called. I was like, and the guy answered, and he was like, I was like, hey, your house is going into foreclosure. Let me buy it. And so he hung up on me. I never should have said that. And the way it should be empathy, because they're ashamed, and you have to understand human psychology before you pick up those phones.
Absolutely.
And so, hey sir, never ask how was their day. You're never gonna get anywhere. Hey sir, I came across your house address. Be specific. Seem like they're the only person you're calling.
Right.
Do you think that your house is going into foreclosure? Are you interested in any creative financing? Anything that can save your house or refinance it? Is there? I work with a company that helps not just buy and then throw it out there. We also buy also. So you can sell it to us but there are ways we can help. And don't just say that's what I mean. Do your job and know what creative financing options are out there. Know that what refinance rates and refinancing looks like. So know your job. This is our job. That this is what we make money off of. So
sure.
And then give them some pointers. Just work them off that ledge that they already are. And,
right.
You'll get success.
So one of the things that we started doing, and I'll share it with you. Not that you need it, but we've been calling, and if we're calling a foreclosure list, I'll say something like, hey, John or Jane, listen, I'm calling about 1234 Mockingbird Lane. It came up on a list, and I'm sure it's a mistake, but it showed up on Zillow as a pre-foreclosure property, and I just wanted to make sure you knew what all the options were to get yourself off of that list. And then that way, we do it that way because it shows empathy, which is you hit it on the nail. And then it also it's not threatening, and it's like, look, I'm sure it's a mistake. You're not supposed to be on there.
Yeah, I'm not that. I'm not that patient. So I cannot go off of that long of a script. So I will be very direct. direct, but I will be very empathetic. Like one time I called this foreclosure list, this guy, actually it was one of the rentals I owned. This was 2 houses down. And I called them, and the lady was like, oh, my brother died. This is my brother's home. He died. And my next thing was, okay, so you still want to sell the house? And she went off on me. And I was like, well, you still have to sell the house. I'm sorry about your brother. But, that those things happen. But I cannot personally, because I've noticed one thing, that I'm very blunt, but people, because it's genuine, that's how I am.
Sure.
It doesn't so people take it as that too. I think that if I adapted any other way to do this, honestly, I think I will be very, very fake, and it will not come. So you have to find what goes with your personality.
Yeah.
Personally, it's a perfect, actually, I'm going to write it down, but it's a perfect script. If someone can, execute it, I know I won't be able to.
Got it. Cool. Okay. So they call those lists. If they're brand new, some people are going to have challenges doing a double close, right? So let's say they lock this up. Mm-hmm. Now, when you first got started, you were part of a group or part of a team. So for new people, do you recommend that they join teams? Who do you recommend? Like,
you need to work with a wholesale brokerage. I would highly, highly recommend that. For simple thing is that you'll learn and go. I mean, most definitely.
Okay. All right. So you said a couple things earlier. Now I think we can graduate towards the higher stuff. You said that your director, when you were talking about that portfolio purchase this morning, what is a director? What does your director do? What is a director to you? And how many people are in your organization? So he's the owner of your brokerage?
So I'm still with the brokerage. I can do this on my own, but that will, I don't want that responsibility. It's not that much more money. And it will take away my freedom because I do a lot of other things also. So for me, it works. I know that like a lot of people and I'm at a point in my life where I can quite literally, negotiate what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure any smart person will pay me what I'm asking for.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So I thought that the director was a part of your team. So
yeah, he is. Like he owns the company, right? So.
Right. But that a lot of that is for compliance purposes, no?
No, he actually is very active in every deal. Like him and I work very closely together.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's part of the whole business model.
Right.
Okay, I see. Okay. All right, that makes sense. All right, so let's talk about the team. I know you have your own personal production. I know you were sharing those numbers with me, and those were your personal numbers just based on your own production, but you also have a team. So let's say somebody finally gets to the point where they have good enough volume. They're maybe doing, I don't know, 7 to 10 deals by themselves every single month, but now they want to scale. So when did you determine that, okay, this volume's great, but I can probably do a little bit more? How did you build a team? How did you scale, and what does your team look like now?
This team is still not mine. I don't want to have a team. Oh gosh,
I see. Okay,
I will lose me money. And so no, that won't work for me. The team is with our company is called Right Way Home Solutions, and Joe is the owner and he's a director, and we have about 15 agents there. I just do my thing.
And they're traditional real estate agents.
No, they're not. They're all wholesalers.
They're all wholesalers.
They're all wholesalers.
So I see. So the brokerage has about 15 wholesalers that work under the brokerage, but you're the queen of wholesale deals.
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. So, look, 20 to 30 units a month by yourself, that's insane volume. That's insane volume. Of course, every month does not turn out to be like that. I've done. I think the most I've done up to is 32 deals a month that I did last year. I've done a few 28 deals now, which was one of the last year was a big year for me. But my average volume falls between 12 to 15 deals. I think there is so much emphasis because it is economies of scale. So I understand that, the more you do, the more you make, and you don't want to just milk every deal, right? So some deals I don't make any money. Like there's a deal probably I've done, like it was done for a very good contact. And, I probably am going to make like $50 on it, which I've never made that kind of money,
And so, but it is okay. There are deals where I paid for the closing costs or I paid the realtors, and I still didn't make anything, because you do deals like that. Generally, I do deals with average fee of like 60 to 80K. I don't
60 to 80K. Is that the price points or is that the spreads?
The spread.
So your spreads, you're averaging about 60 to 80K.
Right. And so I think that even if there are some months where I will just hit, because I know if I do 4 deals and each of them have that kind of numbers, I don't need to hit a larger volume. And then I can,
Sure.
because I'm flipping my own deals. Like I flipped like 16 homes last year. I'm building a few homes, and I'm trying to get into multifamily. So there's a lot goes on in my life at all times. So those are the months that I start paying attention to my personal investments. And so, but I still make, on average, I make what I make. So I think it's very important to not chase numbers, to change the quality of business you're doing.
Sure. But even then, so let's say somebody says, well, I want to do less deals, bigger spreads, I deal with less stress, I make the same amount of money. They still have to have that target or that goal, right? So
I never have a goal of like, I will do X amount of deals. No, I don't have this goal. I will do X amount of business, dollar amount.
Got it. Okay, so X amount of dollar amount. Now, if we're doing 60 to 80K spreads, what is the average price? Or do you have one, or doesn't matter?
High-end deals. So I will say for Texas, the reason a lot of times I gain my reputation, because I'm the only person right now in the wholesale industry who is moving in this terrible market, the high-end flips. And it's because my buyers are very strong. One thing I will say, that when I started in wholesale, and even to this day, people who bought more houses or contracted more houses, they think they're, better than everybody else. This is a sales game at the end of the day.
Sure.
People who have a strong sales background, who have strong buyers, they are the ones that are going to make money. So make sure you're investing 60% of your time in finding investors and building those relationships, and then 40% of the time in your buying strengths. I can promise you will do a lot more in the longer run. Like last 6 months, the entire industry is down. People have shut down. I'm
right.
It. It's because I had a very, very powerful, very strong buyer base.
Got it. And what's so funny? It's the opposite of traditional real estate, the traditional real estate agent model, right? Because the traditional real estate agent model is you find the sellers, and the idea is you control the listings.
No, like I pick up so many deals from my investors. I pick up so many deals from my investors. I don't believe in that. I don't know who it works for. Everybody I know who works on that model, then they're trying to find more and more houses, then they can freaking sell it, then contracts are going out of, you're falling out of auction periods, and then you're fucked, and then you have to give them back, and then your reputation is tarnished with it. So no, take a year to year and a half to build extremely good, decent, powerful buyer base. And then.
But I need money now. I need money now, not a year and a half.
So when you're finding buyers, so when you're finding buyers, you are finding leads with it. You can do 2 things at a time.
Okay.
Yeah. So you definitely can do that. Trust me, getting a house under contract and not closing on it is the worst feeling on the planet.
It sucks. It's horrible. You feel like a loser.
Yeah.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
I just I'm very fortunate. I did not have to go through too many times in my life. And every time that happened, it was not because I couldn't close. It was a seller background, or there was a lien on the property.
Sure.
It sucks. It really sucks. And you can see all your hard work going down the drain.
Yep. So, Yep. Okay. All right. So you did say something earlier where you were like, hey, even if I don't have an end buyer, then I got to perform. I'll buy the deal. Mm-hmm. Right. Do you give those kind of guarantees to agents? Do you tell the agents, look, or do you not even bring that up? The assumption is I'm buying it no matter what.
Well, now when people deal with me, they know that. But I will say that the brokerage I was working with before, this was their attitude. They wanted to close on everything. And my broker, I learned business. Like, I know we don't work together anymore, but like everything I am, it's like they made me what I am. He used to, that was his thing. We'll close on the deal, get the deal, we'll close it. And a lot of times he would buy the deal, and but we would close on a deal. So,
but what if the numbers didn't make sense?
Then don't pick it up. Be careful before you pick it up. Like, you don't get so eager to get a deal done that you're not paying attention. Numbers is everything. This is numbers game. You cannot pick an overpriced property just because you can get it under contract.
Right.
No, you have to know your job. You have to know the comps. You have to know the area. You have to know what is market currently doing. You cannot be an anomaly. The game is bigger than the individual, and you think that no one else can get it done and I'll get it. Nah, that attitude doesn't fly. Life will humble you very quickly. So pick up at the right numbers. Don't get too conservative either, but pick up at the right numbers, and I think that you can move the deal.
Great. Okay, we're getting close to the 1 o'clock mark, and I know you're busy. So when we first talked on the phone, one of the things that you said to me that really caught my attention was that every morning you're going to be looking and you're going to be analyzing about 6 to 8 different opportunities, right? Mm-hmm. So walk somebody through that, right? Number one, if you're talking about 6 to 8 opportunities, where are those 6 to 8 opportunities coming from?
Mine are referral at this point. Okay. So, like I said, I haven't made a call since September.
Okay. Lucky you.
No, I actually need to start getting on calls. I was actually, after I'm done with the package I'm dealing with, that's my next goal. Like, I'll get back on the calls. But generally, I have about 6 to 8, off-market deals, and people
that they're referring over to you, and then it's your job to go out there and take a look at them.
Yeah, and I have never bought a house that I have not walked. I have sold plenty of houses that I have not bought because I'm good at sales. But I have, there's a joke about that whole situation, but there is, but I, have never bought a house that I have not walked. I don't care if it is, in Willis, Texas. I'll drive 4 hours to walk the house, but I have never picked a house that I have not walked personally.
Got it. And I think that's important because, not once during this whole conversation did we talk about you doing this virtually. And I don't know if anybody caught that, but she's doing this all in one market, right? Houston and Galveston, yes. Houston and Galveston. Okay. And that's another thing that blew my mind when she first shared that with me. So, I think the takeaway here is you get to the 60 buyer, and it's funny, 60-40. So 60 VIP buyers and 40 referral partners that can give you business on a monthly basis. That should be everyone's target. Yeah. Okay. If there's any one thing that before I let you go, and thank you for doing this for me, by the way, if there's any one thing that you want the listeners to leave here with, one thing that's going to change their pocketbook, what would that be? It's going to be hard either way. It's hard to be rich, it's hard to work, and it's hard not to work. You're going to struggle anyways. So choose the struggle that produces money. At least life would be easier some other way. And work hard. Just work hard and work with... I love what I do. I cannot explain in words that how much I love what I do. With all the stress and the frustration and challenges it comes with, it makes my heart happy, what I do. When I talk about my work, I absolutely love what I do. And it shows. And just, learn, take your time, and work hard. And there is so much integrity in what we do. And we are the building block of real estate. I know people look down on wholesalers. I'm like, fuck you. And we actually provide the building block of the housing market. We are 30% of it. And so and take pride. And we improve neighborhoods. We make them better. We bring up property values. So this one guy, there's a house that I'm selling, and very quickly I'll let you know that it's like I wanted 265 out of it. He was like, well, I can buy this for 200. I said, then go buy it from somewhere. Right.
because I'm going to sell it for 265, which I did. I mean, it's under contract, but like, and there's a price who you're working with, and
Sure.
I'm really good at what I do. I'm in the market 24/7. You get in trouble, I will help you out. I will do whatever I can to make sure you're taken care of before the deal, after the deal, till it gets resold and we work again. So there's a, of course there's a dollar amount to it. I'm not doing it for fucking free.
Right. Yeah.
So neither should you. So, value yourself, have a good day. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. You don't have it, you have it. I'm a female. I'm a brown, short female. And I came from a completely corporate background, and for me to do this, and do it so well in this industry, if I can do it, honestly, you can do it. I'm sure that people are much more skilled when they start than I was. I was very rough around the edges.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna get you a Starbucks gift card now that I know that that's your little thing. I'll shoot that over to you. And if our team has any buyers, any deals in Houston and Galveston,
in California too. So let me just tell you, I have actually two contacts they're in Cali contacts, and we have access to, or they have access to, around I think 80,000 buyer, and they buy countrywide. So if you have a deal and you run it by me, email it to me, and let me see if my source can find you a buyer for it.
Okay, cool.
And there are lenders also, so they can help you with the lending part. Yeah, and so and also if you have an investor that might be interested in buying in other markets, I always have deals, and I have an entire company in place that do deal with just out-of-state buyers. So I have contractors, I have property managers, I have management teams, I have project managers that will make sure, and then I have realtors that will list their house. So from the very get-go, from signing it, we have lending in place. We have the whole 9 yards that they would need to get a deal done.
Perfect. All right, so anybody on our team, we lock something up, we'll bring it to Amna, have her take a look, see what we can do with it, yeah?
Definitely.
We can JV it together.
I don't JV, that's fine, but I will, we'll work it out,
See, I mean, she's practicing what she's preaching. She just told me right now she won't do it.
No. I'm just saying that I don't do JVs, but like,
I know we'll make it work. I know, I'm just messing.
We'll make it work, but JVs get like very tricky. But I don't want to get into that. But like, and also I don't think our company. I have to talk to my director about it. But we can. I can definitely. I will have a buyer. I can tell you right now.
Okay.
We have a very good source. A couple of them that I work with. And we have ready buyers right now, and buyers are coming back to the market. So
I think the shock and awe finally. Everybody calmed down. And, in the middle of the month, the middle of the year, they were all freaking out. But I think
lending terms are actually getting
eased up. They've easing up a little bit.
They're boosting up a little bit. So we're in a good spot. So and
we just got to work. Just got to get to work.
We just have to work.
Yeah. Okay, Amna. Thank you for doing this. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll shoot you that Starbucks card.
Yes, sir. You got it.
Okay, you guys. Take care. Bye.